Hello my lovelies, I hope you're all well. Bit of a somber video today because, everybody's talking about this, so I'm assuming that you have already seen what has been going on with this submersible. The oxygen supply, it's now looking like it may have run out. Now obviously this was an estimate by the US Coast Guard, who were estimating when the oxygen supply would run out. There's 5 people on board. Oxygen on Titan is now feared to have run out, but the desperate search for the missing submersible and brave adventurers on board reached the floor of the Atlantic today, just as the deadline passed. The world is now praying for a miracle after the Coast Guard predicted the vital oxygen supply would end at 12:08 Greenwich Mean Time. Time of filming, it's about half an hour after that time for me. Banging was heard at 30-minute intervals from the depths of the Atlantic, possibly from the men striking inside the submarine, but they haven't located the submarine yet, and they don't know where these noises were coming from. Basically, they just heard banging noises every 30 minutes. Those stuck on board include British billionaire Hamish Harding, the CEO of the company that made the submarine, Stockton Rush, French Navy veteran P.H. Najlee, and Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman, who is only 19. So all just incredibly, incredibly sad. The US Coast Guard has said that the rescue operation is still an active search with no plans yet to shift to a recovery phase. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. It could be the case that with it becoming so cold inside the craft that they could have slipped into unconsciousness, which then may mean that the oxygen supply will last a little longer. We don't know. Problem is they still haven't actually located the sub. So they still need several hours after locating the sub to get to them, attach the towing cable to be able to get the vessel out of the water. And then there are 17 bolts holding it closed. Those would need to be removed before they could get in and get the guys out. A deep water robot has reached the Atlantic floor, and another is descending at the moment. Canadian vessel Horizon Arctic has deployed an ROV that has reached the seafloor and began its search. I'm trying to stay optimistic, but you're talking about a needle in a haystack, and the needle is moving as well. Potentially. We don't know what happened because they lost communication, but they have lost communication in the past and still popped up, which is why they waited 8 hours to alert the Coast Guards, because it's an 8-hour round trip effectively. So they figured that the sub would just pop up like it has in the past when it's had communications issues. So despite fears the oxygen supplies have run out, there's still hope. Miracles happen, right? They find people that have been missing that they thought were dead. They do find them. Obviously, this is a race against time, though, because they cannot get more oxygen. There's a finite supply within the craft itself. I'm certain that Stockton and the rest of the crew, so this is the co-founder, Guillermo Sonline, founded Ocean Gate with Stockton Rush in 2009. And he believes that if the window to finding them could go beyond the US Coast Guard's prediction. Yeah, there are always, there's always hope, right? That is, if it wasn't a catastrophic event that happened initially anyway. I'm certain that Stockton and the rest of the crew realised days ago that the best thing they can do to ensure their rescue is to extend the limits of those supplies by relaxing as much as possible. Everyone knows if you panic, you breathe more rapidly, the oxygen will run out quicker. I continue to hold out hope for my friend and the rest of the crew. It's incredibly sad, the whole thing. And I have seen videos flagged up of the CEO talking about hiring young people, more diverse people, rather than the 50-year-old white guys who know what they're doing, which in itself is a little bit disturbing, because you might think, is he not wanting to hire the experienced guys because they would tell him that he's doing things wrong? This is completely unregulated. The craft is uncertified. It's had numerous issues in the past missions. So there's big questions that need answering. Titan lost communication on Sunday while about 435 miles south of St. John's, Newfoundland, during a voyage to the Titanic off the coast of Canada. The last ping of its homing device was heard on Sunday afternoon, directly above the world's most famous sea wreck. So they know it got to the site of the wreck, but they lost communication pretty soon after it launched. Above the Titanic is a flotilla of at least 10 ships, 2 robot subs, and several aircraft scanning the Atlantic for any sign of Titan, as sonar continues to hear a banging noise from the depths. Shipping experts, marine traffic have shared an animation of the ships rushing to the search zone. So there's currently 2 ROVs on site. The British also have an ROV that could reach that depth, but unfortunately it's too far away to be able to help. A marine expert at the British Antarctic Survey told a press conference on Thursday he thought the Victor 6000 was the main hope for an underwater rescue. Just an incredibly sad situation all round. I've seen people basically saying, why are we wasting all this time and money to try and rescue these ultra rich people who chose to go down? For exactly the same reason that you try to rescue anyone that gets themselves into a precarious situation. You don't just say, oh, well, they went there themselves, so let's not bother to help. That's not very humane, is it? And yeah, the fact that these are incredibly wealthy people, some people just hate rich people, don't they? They can't bring themselves to feel any empathy because they have money. Like, what kind of person are you that just because somebody happens to be a billionaire that you think that you shouldn't feel bad for them or their family when they're in a catastrophic situation? And the fact of the matter is that there is a man and his son in this submarine, and there are 3 other men there who all have families and people that love them. And we should be hoping for the best. Not saying, oh well, the ocean just eats the rich for us. I can't think of a worse fate than slowly suffocating in a tin can thousands of feet under the sea. Yeah. At this stage, it's really going to take a miracle. I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open for any news, and we can talk about it as it happens. But for now, my thoughts are with the families of the 5 men, and I just really am hoping for a miracle. But let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you very soon.